So, first of all, thank you, Pablo, for filling in for Yuan. Juan. Um, and then Anit, do you want to go ahead first and or do that later? Oh, I think let me see. People cannot unmute right now.
Yeah, namaskar, bhaiya.
How are you?
Yeah, good. Julia has joined actually with JBB actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Hi, Julia. Hello,
Let
Julia.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll ask her.
Hi, nice to meet you all. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Julia, for yeah. So you attended the session in Manchester, so
Leeds.
It was in Leeds, yeah, the Hindu temple in Leeds.
yeah. I haven't been to Leeds. I went to Manchester last time, so look, I'll look forward to that. And welcome here, and happy Saturday, everyone. So we will, um, you know, practice satsang as we do always. Uh, so today I was thinking, um, what is very important is that we get into the meditation in the right mindset. Um, Typically, there are lots of things going on in our head, lots of things going on in the background in our lives. How so people say, okay, I would like to meditate 5 minutes, but to get into deep meditation for 5 minutes, you need the right mindset. You need to really, you know, get to that point where you are centered, where you're grounded, where you are, away from lots of these barrage of thoughts. So Guru Maharaj, when he started this process, experimented with a lot of things in around 1950, he structured this process or this structure, this format where there is, uh, you know, so in traditional satsangs, initially, um, you know, um, hello. So in traditional satsangs, what used to happen would be like to set the atmosphere. Um, there will be, some devotional songs. Then, because this is such a unique system where lots of things have been taken from so many different backgrounds, religions, ideologies. So, to understand why we are doing what we are doing, Guru Maharaj himself used to describe why he decided to do certain things a certain way. Um, Now that becomes part of the transition in, because when you're listening, when you're intentional, when your attention is on what is being spoken, your thoughts, which were all over the place, now get starting to concentrate, starting to center. And that is the beginning of getting into the mode of, you know, meditation. So this is kind of designed to, you know, and then every time, every session, there is set of instructions. Then there is also, earlier there used to be prayers. We have now converted those prayers into music notes. So you get into the mode um, of concentration, of focus. So from barrage of thoughts, you get into, a singular thought initially, and then potentially you drop that even. So the whole process is that if you want to have a deep meditation for 5 minutes, you need to get to that deep state, grounded state, centered state first. And the way this whole workshop is structured is to get you in a better state to meditate first. And then so we will, as usual, we'll start the meditation later. First, let's hear the topic of the day from Parul, and then I'll again start with instructions. Then we'll, uh, you know, concentrate with music. Then we'll go into deep silent meditation. Then we transition out with music, and then we open up so that while we are imbibing the energy, the discussions happen, but in the background, the embodiment of transcendental energy that we do through this meditation continues. So, with that, Parul.
Thanks, Dad. You put the screen forward a little.
Screen. Oh, this one. Better?
Hey everyone, thanks for being here and happy Saturday. So obviously we're going to practice satsang a little bit later today. I'm going to introduce our topic, which is kind of building on a topic that we were talking about a couple weeks ago, which was unconditional love. And I've been thinking a lot about that this week and how, what's the bridge to that? And the topic that came up was detachment. So detachment is the bridge to unconditional love. And it's not about disconnection, it's about a shift that creates reconnection to all things, places, and people, but in a way that allows us to see all things as equal to us, to see the light in everything, and to treat everything and everyone as our own, as if they were our own family or something extremely important to us, but without attachment. It's a journey from I to we and mine to ours. And along that journey, we have to first detach from our own identities. We have to detach from our most prized possessions and favorite family members and how far we can get in our careers and even our closest friends. We go through a journey of first loving our own things and people so much that they become our worlds. They can even complete us at times. And then we realize that the most important thing in the world is to connect to a higher power, the highest energy in the universe, God, the divine, whatever you choose to call it. Connecting with and embodying this energy takes center stage, and that creates a ripple effect in your life. If that higher energy is the most important thing in your life, now your mom can still be your best friend, but it has to be in a bit of a different way. Not in a way that fills the lack in your soul, but actually in a way where you accept her for who she is. You can see her light and love her even when and if it's from a distance. Now your boss affects you in a different way. He's there to direct you at work, and you're there to work from a place of duty and responsibility, and not from a place of getting validation for how great you are at work or pushing yourself to extremes to fulfill a never ending to do list because you don't feel good enough internally. Actually, now you get to work there and fulfill your duty because you want to contribute to the team. And whatever happens, whatever is said to you can roll off your shoulders because your identity is not attached there. It's a role you're playing, and you understand that and respect it for what it is. Once we can get past our own identity and the things and places and people that once defined us, drove us, motivated us, and even guided us at times, we get to fully lock in with that higher power. Now, Guru's energy, divine energy, the universe's highest energy, is there to guide us, support us, and help us. And we ourselves connect with this energy and embody this energy more and more. Those people we once those people we once felt hate for, now it becomes neutral. Those family members whose opinions threw us off course, now we let it just be there. It floats off our back without affecting us. The expectations we once had for everything and everyone, that's fallen to the wayside. Detachment is actually about freedom. It's about a deep journey of forgiveness, acceptance, and neutrality when needed. It's that I'm not going to disconnect or check out, but actually I'm going to come to a place where I can be fully immersed in everything here and still not let it affect me. Detachment is actually about stillness and peace with all things and all people. And that eventually leads us to unconditional love. Because now I'm not looking for you to complete me or something in me. It's actually a state where you're not only unaffected, you're actually completely at peace to the point where your love becomes boundless and so strong that fear, worry, anxiety all become a distant memory because you've embodied the energy of the divine. So that's kind of the bridge to unconditional love. We're obviously on a journey, and that's way easier said than done, but this is the journey that we're on, that we want to get to that end goal of being so full of love that just by, people being in your presence, they're completely shifted to a new state.
Wow. Yeah, detachment is a very deep subject. I think, uh, according to my grandfather, it's um, for ages it has been misinterpreted. Uh, you know, there are a lot of ideologies that detachment is more about giving up, the world or giving up things. But what he said was that you could be uh, a normal family person, but detached. That would be real detachment, where you actually, so as Buddha said, that attachments cause all the misery that we have. So if we get rid of that attachment, um, in whatever phase of life we are in, uh, that will lead us to a more peaceful existence. However, taking, um, I want to go to a monastery, which is a great step, but you could be attached there as well to other people, to even the rituals, etc. So detachment is more of a converting your attachments to a state where you're more neutral, you're judgment free, and so on and so forth. Somehow, this process, this meditation that we will be doing, would make us reflect, and will take us one step towards that, because as you meditate, as you observe and embody transcendental energy, uh, slowly that presence and that energy elevates you to higher states, and that makes you understand what the real detachment ought to be in our lives, or how to inculcate peace, light, and love. And as I think we were listening, unconditional love requires this, intermediate step in a way. All right, so let's get into it. So first things first, this whole process is to focus inwards. So the sensory inputs, and the outward flow of our energy, let's bring it inwards. And the process, it's very simple. All we need to do is close our eyes lightly closed, because the sensory input is distracting our mind. We want to concentrate our mind. So to do that, we want to reduce the distractions on our mind. So first is eyes lightly closed. The second, we observe our body. Make sure that the body is still and relaxed. So no strains, no, too much movement, because every time the body moves, mind moves with it. We want to focus, we want to concentrate. So the idea here is that we focus inwards, and two things that help you is eyes lightly closed and body is relaxed. So no strain anywhere. Observe, make sure, and still. So still and relaxed posture and eyes lightly closed. And now what? So we need a backdrop. We need, what do we concentrate on? And the whole idea here is that you feel the most powerful source of energy that you can think of. And I call that transcendental because it's far more, it's like cosmic energy, source of energy. Any conscious source that you can think of, feel the presence right here, right now, in front of you. And that transcendental energy in form of light is entering your heart, enlightening your heart, and then distributing throughout your body, and you're getting completely and totally immersed in this light. So essentially, you're becoming the light, you're becoming the transcendental energy yourselves. You are now going to be embodying this transcendental energy. Very powerful. We start with imagining that it's this way, that the transcendental energy source is right here, right now, and that energy in form of light is entering our heart, enlightening it, and then that light, that energy, distribute throughout your body, and you get completely and totally immersed in that light. So what is natural is that your thoughts will eventually go somewhere else rather than focus on this thought or this observation of this transcendental energy, feeling the presence, feeling and embodying this energy. So when you realize that your mind has wandered away, no need to fight, just bring it back to this thought and this thought alone, that this transcendental energy source is right here, right now, and that energy in form of light is entering our heart, and the heart is getting enlightened, and the energy then is traveling to every nook and corner of your body, and you are becoming the light. So we'll start with music. Music helps this process, this concentration. Then music fades away, and we go into deep, silent meditation on this transcendental light. And then we'll transition out with music again. So let's start now. Wow. Okay. So we were so still in the room that the motion sensor lights went away. That's all right. So I was just thinking that, if some of the newer folks can, introduce themselves. Anyway, now it's the time to open up and share thoughts, questions, and any comments. But before that, I was just thinking that as we started today's session, we were talking about, just to do a 5-minute deep meditation, you need a little bit of this transition or a prep time. And then that becomes like a session like this. It's, 30 minutes or 45 minutes. Sometimes people say that, it should be a shorter session. But when I look at how to describe what this process is, we should discuss some of that. We should also answer some questions so it, exceeds an hour. But if done right, so where would this lead us to? So on Substack, I have, earlier this summer, I launched a newsletter and I talked about this natural higher consciousness state, referred to as Sahaj Samadhi, which is, uh, so before I describe that, I think what we were talking about was detachment. So if we take a little bit of detachment and a little bit of unconditional and selfless love, which and the third element is meditation, and all these mindfulness and meditation and all these are interconnected. And if you take some of that, I can guarantee that there will be more peace in your life. And with that peace, and if you continue to stay on higher states, what you get to is almost a very uncommon state of unshakable peace, because people who, I respected and I learned from in satsang, they could take life's ups and downs without being perturbed. And there was this quiet steadiness deep within. They had this even keel presence. So circumstances were joyous or painful, their inner state remained balanced. So almost like no elation in victory, no despair in loss, just a calm center. And then, if we talk about unconditional love, I've seen that in person. It's not sentimental affection, it is an open-hearted acceptance that embraced all and regardless of the background, faith, or status, which is in today's culture, I think, I don't know, I feel it's a rare thing. On that note, I think I'll open it up. And Luz and Taru, I think you need to join us in person. Today we have, more people in the room.
I am so sorry that I missed this again. I'm going to really keep my eye on the times when you meet, because I definitely want to be there and be in the room with you. I am so sorry. Today was wonderful as always. Loved your topic. Thing that resonated with me was, this idea that in order to, you had mentioned that there's this misconception that in order to detach, you have to like physically give up something, which, is maybe not a bad practice, but it's more of a state of mind detachment. Yeah. It's more of an internal process, which, I have to like, that's like food for thought. I think that's harder actually because when you're physically engaging in some kind of ritualistic act of giving up, it's like it's very tangible. But when you're just trying to do it in your mind, in a different way, it's more ephemeral. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not as easy, but it's probably the higher goal to strive for. Yeah. More effective.
I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the examples in the Indian context my grandfather used to give was people would go and give up everything, family and work and all that, and then go to Himalayas and create an ashram there. And then they get attached to the ashram and everything around it. And it's like, where will you go in the world? Where will you, where unless you have the mindset, you will have no attachment. Actually, my wife was reading some ancient scripture where this sage who gave up everything and was living in a jungle, and you know, uh, uh, like very little infant deer came to the ashram, and he just got enamored with it, and there is a whole story around that attachment led to this, that, and blah blah blah. And I was like, wow. So attachments can be very, very interesting. So yeah.
And if you don't have it is stronger to try and do it as you said because of that, right? Like if you force it by giving everything up, the first thing that comes to you that offers connection, the connection that you've been depriving yourself of, it could turn into some kind of obsessive attachment. So it would be a better practice to just sort of like not do it like that, but to like do it as you had said, which is hard for me to articulate and repeat, but it's more of like removing like the need and only loving like I can't even describe how you said it, but sort of like loving
Actually,
unconditionally, objectively, or just stepping outside of that and sort of appreciating everything as it is, and not expecting, not allowing that thing to define you in a way.
so talking about articulation, a few years ago, I was visiting someone in New Jersey, and we were talking about this topic and how hard it is to articulate. And then he said, I think I can kind of give this example where if my car is scratched a little bit, it like the scratch goes against my heart, right? It just hurts. And if my neighbor's car gets totaled, I'm like, yeah, so it doesn't affect me that much. And so if we start thinking about our car as our neighbor's car, that would be detachment. So, so it doesn't hurt that much then. My grandfather actually has documented in his books that he used to think that everything, including his family, kids, are like, because of the blessing of his guru, and so he documents like how he learns various lessons around that. So very interesting.
Well, thank you. I'll pass the mic to somebody else, but as always, thank you so much.
Sure thing. So Sherry, Julia, anyone else who wants to?
Hi, this is Sherry.
Yeah, hi.
This is so appropriate detachment because one of the things that I've been um, working on is getting that my mind, becoming unattached to my mind. I am not my mind, and it's a tool.
Yeah.
And really coming from my heart and from love rather than all the constant going ons in my brain, in my mind, to allow myself to. So detachment is very apropos for me today. Just and that's something that I've been working on is coming from my heart and from my love instead of my thoughts. So
Yeah, so true. Just again, I think we're talking about things that are hard to articulate. So one of the concepts that my grandfather kind of highlights is that this process, this meditation, you can talk forever and not really understand how an individual experiences it. So it's a more experience, you know more of an experience for an individual. uh, we can understand the concepts around it, but until and unless you really go deep, and what that means is like it's beyond the capacity of the mind and language to describe how uh, you know, when you are at a higher awareness state or a higher consciousness state, what that looks like. So true.
yeah.
Good
So thank you
morning.
for the today.
Hi, Paula. How are you?
Good. So I have a question that maybe Parul could answer, or you could answer, Sanjeev. When the situation, and again, it's hard to articulate, but when we talk about detachment, what I'm getting from that is that you need to detach from the situations or circumstances that are causing you not to be able to reach the higher levels of consciousness. But what happens when it's a situation that you cannot really detach from?
I think that's super deep. Well, I think that's the whole talk, right? Which is that we're not disconnecting from anything. We're actually shifting everything so that we reconnect with everything in a way where we're not taking energy from things, but we're actually connecting with the higher power more. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
So actually, like part of what I said was that we're seeing everything as equal, and then we're also neutral in certain situations, which before we'd probably be so immersed in. So part of detachment is that everything is equal to me, but also there's situations where I'm neutral now because I'm also connected with everything, but in a way that's healthier than being disconnected with one thing. And then you disconnect honestly from a lot of things because of that disconnection.
So I think a couple of weeks ago, Paula allowed me to go on a tangent. So as usual, I would actually go on a tangent and say there is a concept of being non-judgmental, which is very closely associated to this concept of detachment. So now, how would you be non-judgmental? So how culturally we deteriorate into, we start on a higher plane and then we slowly deteriorate. So one of the things, So all the newspapers earlier used to be called Observers, Reporter, and what was the idea? The idea was that you completely, in a non-judgmental way, you neutrally observe what happened, and then you put it for others to, digest or observe,
Yeah.
right? What happens now is like you go on a newspaper or a TV channel, there are more opinions rather than observations. So that's what we do to ourselves.
Yeah.
We have judged people up front. We have judged situations up front. We're no longer observing. If we were to observe and report to the higher authority in our brain that this is what we're seeing, and we could be non-judgmentally make decisions, our decisions would be very, very different, right? So I think detachment is also about that it's not about, I think the connotation about that is like, oh, I'm like getting away from it. That's not true. It's just that the mindset shift from being judgmental to a non-judgmental state.
Actually, as you were talking, I also think it's about just if we're in this environment and we didn't change anything, how can we change our state? Because if you've ever gone on vacation, the first 3 days are amazing, right? You completely go into a new environment, it's amazing, the ocean's there, whatever's there. And then after a couple weeks, you start to miss home, or you start to miss that place that everything felt wrong in. So then you go home. But then the same problems are both where you are in vacation and at home. So the internal shift has to happen in any kind of environment. And then you can handle everything that's in any environment if you can change that internal state. We can't really shift by just, putting a new person in place or disconnecting from that person. I think it's way bigger than that, especially like as you get like further and further on the spiritual journey, you'll realize you have to fix it in any environment, in the exact environment you're in, because that's like the real key to freedom, is that I can be in any environment, and that environment or those people won't shift my state. So that's like spiritual growth.
So when you say, Sanjeev, I know, I don't remember, it was a few weeks ago, right today we're using the word observer, but I think, is this in the same vein that we talked about being the noticer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Thank you very much.
Sure.
This to me sounds like your circle of influence and your circle of change, what you can change and what you can't change in life, and the acceptance of what is outside your influence and what is in your side your influence. And this is something that I practice in my career as a HR partner. And kind of detachment is something that I have learnt in my career. And I'm quite good at detaching and looking at facts and being non-judgmental. And I do bring them principles into my own personal life. But for me personally, it's now building upon that and getting more like-minded people within my circle, to learn off people and learn off how there's different ways of viewing things in the world. And going back to a point that you made very early on, where the culture of the world at the moment is very judgmental, and it is really sad to see how human nature does have this, I suppose we're influenced quite a lot by the media, by other people's opinions, and you don't realise how much that is embedded in people and the unconscious bias that people do have, which is something that I always do see in my role as HR as well. So it's really interesting. to be here and learn these elements and how you practice it?
So I think everything, Julia, you said, I think kind of resonates, but I usually pick on one thing that uh, maybe we need to think a little bit further about. So
Okay.
one thing you talked about is to be with, you know, um, people who are like-minded. And I think the discussion here was that when we are less judgmental, we're more accept that we're more accepting in terms of, other people in general, right? So yes, we want to have people who are uplifting us and motivating us and mentoring us and all that, but in general, we should be more open. And what I found in satsang, like this was, in India, like no need to take an appointment, no need to even like, so people would just show up at my grandfather's door, my father's door. Um, no invitation, no appointment necessary. It's just, and people sometimes they won't even know where they came from, who they are. Just show up, and having that, uh, in a book written by authors of the Chicken Soup series here, um, Power of Focus, they mention that at the higher state, the leaders become harmless. And it's like a very interesting word to use. So I kind of translated that into how somebody becomes more accessible, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's you are just so open to everybody that they would not feel that, oh, I shouldn't reach out. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I get that a lot with friends, and I've been tested an awful lot, I think, since I've turned 40. I don't know, people just seem to come to me, and um, what I thought were my base principles of being non-judgmental have definitely been tested. But um, you can get yourself stressed out if you start judging people. Just try and look at the person, ignore the noise and how they present to you in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think society is definitely going in the way of judging more, but I think it's always been like that. Like there's always been, this is trending, this is not trending. Like
Yeah.
things change quickly, even with what we're judging and what we're not judging. So yeah, I mean, I think it's good to have like a inner compass of like this is how I want to approach things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I loved everything you said.
Thank you.
All right. So almost 8 minutes past the hour. So any questions, any thoughts here in the room?
Just trying to learn about everything, trying to learn about meditation and how to approach this, because I'm kind of struggling with staying for long periods of time in a state when I don't have any intrusive thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So far, I do go on different events of meditation, and I started getting sometimes a few seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds on this stage.
So how many seconds was it today?
It's just like chunks,
Yeah.
periods. Then it comes, and then I catch this thought that I'm thinking. I'm going back to the state, so it's back and forth for me.
Yeah.
But hopefully I'll learn how to get longer periods of.
I don't know if you can join Thursdays 6:30 here.
I think I can.
It's guided.
I'm test driving more guided, So here we have like almost 15 minutes of silent meditation, which is deep, and definitely I want people to be there on to that, but I'm test driving something that will prepare for that. So the music is longer, instructions are longer through the music, and even transition out is longer, and uh, the the silent meditation is cut down to 5 minutes or so, 5 to 10. So it's like more hand holding and more, so because the mind goes away. So if this music and instructions kind of keep you at bay a little longer, so the hand holding is more. I actually felt that um, while it's a very, very simple process to, this, you understand the instructions and you would like to follow the instructions, but the monkey mind is just, doesn't let us concentrate. So based on the feedback I got over the last 2 decades, I thought like, okay, let me try this guided meditation. So
Yeah, definitely.
Is that something that you're going to do online as well, and or is it just in person?
so right now,
We can make Thursday online.
no, so Thursday 6:30 would not be
Oh, right.
6:30 p.m. here would be way too late for you.
Oh, right, I didn't realize. Why? Sorry, I didn't realize are you in another country?
Um,
So
well,
we
we
could
can
do
record
another one.
it. We can
No,
also
no, we
record
could
it.
either record it, or let me see if I can start something either more in the afternoon time, which suits India and UK more.
Okay, sorry, I didn't realize that you're in a different
Oh,
time zone.
This is America.
Yeah,
Oh,
we in just outside of Washington DC.
right, okay.
And Paula, don't worry, we're gonna keep Tuesday and Saturday the same. It's just something new for people who are beginning. Yeah, Tuesday is still gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but guided it's great to like get started with the silent portion. So
Yeah, it's
like,
really interesting.
Yeah, it's because I realized that you know to get, I think a few sessions could get you to a state where you can do silent meditation for 10-15 minutes, but initially it's tough. So that I'll probably record that soon, so hopefully.
and then we need to get the Tuesday session to Paula. It's the same link, Paula. You can just
Yeah.
join 7 p.m. EST.
7 p.m. EST, same link. And yeah, so Julia, I'll figure out another time and day and for the guided one as well. So we'll get back to
Or
you.
even if you just did the recorded one, then
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to do that and then give feedback as well on that as well for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Where do you usually post all the information?
So actually, I'm starting a new website. It's home.ramashram.org. I'll send that out.
Okay.
We have
Perfect.
right?
Sure.
We have your email.
I think so. I just saw it.
We'll just grab it and then we can send you everything. Yeah, because we have a new website, new landing page, new offering.
I was about to say that I also want to start like a one-on-one sessions where I can answer questions and kind of do even more hand holding. So yeah, that will be on the website, like home.ramashram.org. Actually, I can put it on here. I'll give it to you anyway, but it's home.ramashram. It's still it has taken months to develop. So we're building a community there. We are, you know, it. I'm calling it coaching, but basically it's like one-on-one sessions. And
yeah, so these sessions will stay the same, and then there will be more to.
oh, so Paula is saying on Eventbrite, I think the Tuesdays one dropped off. I'll take care of that. Ouch.
But it is the same link for anyone who has this link.
Very good. So any wrap-up thoughts from anyone before we get going? Okay, so love, light, and peace be with you. So glad that we were here in Satsang, and see you all soon. Take
Thank you
care.
very much.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye now.
नमस्ते भैया बाय
Namaskar.
नमस्कार जी
Namaskar.